bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Bahamas is involved with a regional program that is expected to facilitate economic stability. Sabrina Brown reports.
The Bahamas is about to join a regional movement that is designed to increase economic growth in the Caribbean through local economic development and better local governance. Senior Island Administrator Alexander Williams says the Caribbean Local Economic Development Project, CARILED, headquartered in Trinidad, will be formally introduced to the country by early next year.
The CARILED project is a local government partnership project to develop and to focus on local economic activities. And it's based on the 3Ps principle: private-public partnership. And the local authorities will seek to partnership with private sector and, of course, central government and create local economic activities.
He says the focus will be on developing touristic endeavors and the small business sector. However, the program is not a grant scheme.
The CARILED project is funded through the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and, of course, the Canadian International Development Fund. And there had been earmarked over the last 3 years some $23 million to be granted in the Caribbean area to assist with the development of these local economic activities.
The administrator is encouraging Bahamians to take advantage of this opportunity.
We want our people to really jump on board and capitalize on this. We have not been doing a very good job on over the years because, number one, they always felt as though the Bahamas was not a country that really needed this kind of assistance. And then, on the other hand, we have not been as aggressive as we ought to have been, as opposed to what we see with our neighboring and sister countries such as Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, Belize, and Guyana.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Well, hundreds of women on Grand Bahama expected to convene for a one-day event designed with women only in mind. Last week, a similar event was held in New Providence and now will be held on Grand Bahama. That, investment opportunities, and other critical matters will be up for discussion. Here's John Davis Rolle with his story.
Money, man, and me.
It is not just a catchy phrase, but according to Fidelity Bank officials, they're the 3 M's that mean different things to different women. The bank, through an event set for the Grand Lucan Resort this Saturday, will attempt to bring greater focus to these 3 vital components of a woman's life.
You may be a fiance and realizing that there are probably a few more components that you probably need to think of, a little bit more than beyond love and what it's going to be like to put our households together. And of course, if you're married, newly married, or if you've been married for a moment, things change, especially when kids come into the element. Then we have that element there of what happens when your man is gone. Gone for divorce, gone because deceased. So we're going to address a lot of those issues. And we have a keynote speaker, the attorney Arthur Paris Jr. from Paris Whitaker & Co., who is going to touch on legal issues for us related to wills and things of that sort.
Fidelity's General Manager of Public Relations and Marketing, Kimberly Miller, says there's also a controversial issue among the mix.
Underneath the money side, we are going to address the issue of VAT. That's a big deal. It's coming up. It's staring us in the face. It's a couple of months away from the approval by our government, and there's a lot of gray areas concerned of exactly how that 15% is going to impact our lives. And we know that 15% out of anybody's budget that's required more to be paid is a lot of money that is going to add up, and your lifestyle is going to need to be adjusted.
Organizers Benjina LaFleur and Maud Smith are excited about the event. They say not only will women benefit, but some charitable organizations as well.
It's exciting and it's good to know that banks are actually giving back. We are offering you to give to a charity of your choice. You would bring $1 and in turn Fidelity would match it with $5. And you can give to the Grand Bahama Children's Home, the Ranford Home for Children, the Women's Crisis Center, and there's also a group called The Links.
Registrations went through the roof, so I'm expecting a room full of ladies who's eager for the information that we are ready to bring to them.
Officials say some 800 women have already registered for the event. It gets underway from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Joan Davis Rolle, Saturday Network News.
A manatee spotted in Port Lakaya created lots of buzz yesterday. Tonight, a marine biologist gives us some insight on this unusual sea creature. It's not the first time a manatee has been spotted in the Bahamas, but it is a relatively rare sighting. Marine biologist Gail Wone says there has been a total of 60 sightings in the country between 1994 and 2011.
There have been 3 to 4 manatees that have been documented, and their behavior has been researched throughout some of the islands where they've shown up. I think they've had 2 births. One in particular stayed on one island for about 13 years. But they tend to be seen more in these northern islands when it's winter and they are searching out warmer water.
She says that manatees usually frequent between Massachusetts to the northern coast of South America. Residents who spotted the mammal on Thursday afternoon say he was given lots of water to drink from a hose.
They like the feel of it falling on their face, especially if it was cool. They do ingest fresh water, and they're seen in freshwater bodies all the way to salt. So he might have been thirsty because we don't have a lot of fresh water that he could access.
Wone says manatees pose no risk and swimmers have no worry because they usually will not approach people. Now, boaters say if the manatee did not find his way out of the marina by today, they would lead the mammal out to sea. But here's what the marine biologist has to say.
If you put it back out, it probably could end up back in the canal because that's the type of habitat they prefer.
So the best bet is to just leave them?
I would just leave it alone and, if you see it, check its health and see if it looks like it's well fed. If you don't think it's well fed, you should contact the Bahamas Marine Mammal Research Organization, which is based in Abaco. Their office is in Sandy Point. And they have done most of the manatee research, probably all of the manatee research in the Bahamas. And they would know exactly who to contact if it needs to be moved or if the health of it needs to be checked.
And there are some fun facts about manatees. They are the only surviving marine mammals that eat only plants, and believe it or not, they are closely related to elephants. Well, it was a big day for the top spellers at primary schools on the island. The Foster B. Pastina Center was a buzz today as the annual Spelling Bee was held for schools throughout the district. Get it? Buzz. Well, again, this year, the district was divided into 2 categories, East and West, and shortly before 2 this afternoon, 2 winners emerged. Franquelle Hagan of the Hugh Campbell Primary School received the award for the Western District. Her coach, Romelda Bain, was ecstatic.
At first, I didn't thought I was going to win. I was coming second, but now I did it.
We've practiced for months. I intentionally had the spelling competition at school very early so I can work with the person that won for the next couple months. She showed tenacity in all that she did, and she prepared ahead of time. She knew the words so quickly that I was unsure as to what else to do. I realize now that I do need to work on a few things with her, and we're going to go back to the drawing board and work on those things for Nassau.
Now, Samaria DeVoe of the Maurice Moore Primary School is the top speller in the Eastern District. Her coach, Ann Burrows, and Samaria's parents say the young girl is more than deserving of such a win.
It felt so good because this is my first time being at the district, and knowing that I had some hard competition, and I was very happy that knowing my work paid off. And none of this would have been possible without God, my coach, my parents, my classmates for support, and my teachers' advice.
It's been fantastic. This is our second time in a row, two-peat, and Samaria is an excellent student to work with. She was so focused, and she just absorbed all of the the techniques and strategies that I gave her like a sponge. And she is so humble. It was a pleasure really working with her this year.
My daughter, she just impresses the heck out of me. She's a hard worker. She worked extremely hard, you know, and we are proud. I mean, words can't even express how happy we are.
How do you feel? Extremely proud. You know, with God's help, you know, she made the supreme sacrifice. She gave up her break time, her lunch time, and after school, weekends, holidays, and she's victorious. And thanks to Ms. Burrows, the victory.
Now, the top spellers will represent Grand Bahama at the national competition in New Providence in a couple of weeks. And a special congratulations to Tiaja Saunders for being nominated as Student of the Year at Freeport Gospel Chapel.
Way to go,
Way to
kids.
go.
One time the kids do great stuff is good for us, okay?
Definitely.
Great weekend ahead. Let's go.
That's going to do it for us here in the North. So on behalf of our entire ZNS News team.
My mother named me R. Anthony Lightbulb.
I'm Shasheena Rolle. That's the Bahamas Tonight continues after this.